Hello everyone, Nicole here, and today I have a project share for you for HotRods Boutique on Etsy. That is Brittany's shop over on Etsy. She's got lots of great Whimsy and Avery L stamps. Today I am still featuring the Hello Happy Everything, the Happy Everything new Clearly Whimsy stamp. And in my last video I did a more of a bright colored pastel birthday card for a child or a teenager, and this time around I just thought that I would share with you how you could gear towards more of a masculine card. I know those are things that I struggle with, so when I thought of this and I thought of the color scheme for this, I should say, I thought that I really wanted to share this because I know it's one thing that I struggle with masculine cards, so I thought that I would share that with you all. So if you're interested in watching how I created this card, it's not one layer, but it's close, but it should be able to be mailed just in a regular envelope and tossed in the mail. The enamel dots and the sequins on it might give it a little bit of grief, but I don't see why it couldn't do that. So if you're interested in seeing how I created this card, stay tuned, and I'm going to attach that video right to the end of this. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks, guys.
The card base I'm working with here is going to be your standard A2 sized 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card. I folded it so that it would open to the left. I'm using some of the post-it tape. I find that it works great for masking when you're stamping right up against that side of the fold. Working with the stamp set here from Clearly Whimsy, I chose to use just the large balloon this time. I used all 3 sizes on my last project and I thought it was great, but I wanted just to focus on stamping the large balloon. As you can see here, right in the very beginning, I totally goofed. Don't know why I did this. I know better than to do that. But for some reason, I started with the navy and I didn't clean my ink, my stamp good enough, and the ink was just left behind. So it doesn't look very pleasing right now, but I promise you I do go back and fix it. So I'm just doing one stamp with this Heidi Swapp navy and coral ink. Just doing first and second generation stamping. Very simple, very easy. I wanted something that was going to be able to be mailed in an envelope and not have to worry about shipping problems and things like that. So as you can see here, I'm finally going back and fixing those 2 balloons that I goofed on in the beginning, and I just took navy ink and went right over the top of them, and that's one thing about clear stamps that is wonderful. You can see right over where you stamped before, and when you look at the actual project in the very end, you can't even tell that that coral color was underneath it, which I love. I still wasn't 100% happy with that top little balloon that kind of got cut off that I did the second generation on, so I went back again, and sorry about my head, I went right back over it with the first stamping instead of doing the second generation, and it worked perfectly, and at this point I was very happy. And then I remembered that I needed to grab a piece of scratch paper to do some second generation stamping. So you'll see me stamping off once on the scrap craft piece of paper, and then I'll go back and stamp the second generation back on there. So once I got all the balloons placed exactly where I wanted to, I left a space on the bottom right there, kind of blank and open, and I knew that's where I wanted to put my sentiment. I choose this birthday stamp in the stamp set that had the arrows for the I and then at the bottom of the T, and I just thought that was perfect because the arrows make your eyes look in those directions, so it's making you look up and down at the balloons, which I thought was perfect. And then I used a coordinating wishes stamp that was in that stamp set as well. Nothing frou-frou for the men. Just trying to keep it basic and nice. There's these 2 stamps in the stamp set with a little bow and a little squiggly line that are perfect for the strings for the balloons. So I went through and stamped those all on the darkest of the balloons. And then the stamp that was in there for the tails just wasn't going to work for me on how I did this. So I grabbed my black fine liner, went through and just drew in my own tails for the balloon strings. So I grabbed these 2 dies that I had in my stash and some scrap vellum and decided I thought that this would make a nice touch to it. I was inspired by a card on Pinterest that had this done, so I knew that these 2 balloons would just work perfect, and just put them over the balloons, and it kind of made made them look more like they were floating in air. So I got them placed where I wanted to, and I goofed again. And I should have known better yet again not to use Scotch Quick Dry when you're working with vellum. Don't use it. When the glue dries, it warps the vellum. I had enough of it, the enamel dots and things that you'll see me, the embellishments I put on it, that it covered it up for the most part. And because I didn't use a lot of adhesive, I just put it in one or two very small spots behind the vellum, because that's where in the end I knew I wanted to put my sequins and my enamel dots. So it would cover it up essentially in the end. But when it dries, it makes the vellum warp a little bit, so I highly suggest that you do not use Scotch Quick Dry on vellum. That's my tip in this little video. So I went through my enamel dot stash, grabbed out some coordinating orange enamel dots from Doodlebug, placed those over the areas that I had put the glue on underneath the vellum, just to try to hide it so that everything, you know, would be hidden and you didn't really see too much. And then I grabbed the now what are they called? Moonshine sequins from the My Style Stamp Shop, and used those because I needed something with just a little bit of sparkle. It was kind of too dull for me, but I was trying not to sparkle it too much because it was supposed to be more of a masculine card. So I think I did okay and held myself back enough that it still could pass for masculine. And then at the end, I was just looking at it. There was just something that was missing, something very minor, and I just decided to pull out my corner chomper. I used the 1/2" corner rounder, rounded the two sides on the right, the left and right, and that was it. Super simple, super fast, and awesome. Thanks to guys so much for watching. Please be sure to subscribe down below to follow for more projects coming up, and if you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day. Thank you.